Hey everyone, it's your boy Marcus Norman of Gentleman Style Podcast Show. And today we have on the podcast Mr. Edwin Endlich. And this man is coming to the Gentleman Style Podcast stage. He's the Chief Marketing Officer of company WYSH and the president of the National Alliance for Financial Literacy and Inclusion. Mr. Edwin has spent his career at the intersection of marketing, fintech, and AI, helping financial institutions tell more human stories in an increasingly digital world. He's passionate about making a difference, making financial protection simple, accessible, and even a little bit more fun. Proving to you, me, we, all of us in between, that we don't need buzzwords or hype to make banking and technology relevant. So help me welcome to this stage this incredible man. I can't hold him back any further, Mr. Edwin.
Hello. Hey, Marcus.
How are you, sir? How are you doing today?
Doing great. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. I'm glad you're here. Thank you for sharing space with us. I appreciate you so much. This conversation is not new, but what you're doing in the industry is, and it's necessary. Sir, when did you first, I have to start with a curveball question, softball question. When did you notice that people needed this? People needed higher levels of security and more comfortability when it came to fintech and the technology space, which led to your company WYSH. Can you help us understand when you made that transition?
Sure. Yeah. So probably around 5 years ago, our CEO and founder, Alex Metjenik, brought together a bunch of his sort of, most trusted group of fintech kind of colleagues to help him found WYSH. And I'm fortunate enough that I was part of that group. And really what we all were bringing to the table was, a host of experiences that left us really unsatisfied, confused, challenged, even upset by the banking industry and the insurance industry. We were just, everyday people who probably just like you had gotten, burned in the past by customer service. We had gotten lost in some sort of automated phone maze trying to get to somebody. We didn't understand how to log into our accounts. So we really all just decided to come together, bring all the things that we would love to solve and work together to solve them. And that's what WYSH is. And so we started as a life insurance company and really looking to change how people think about life insurance, how it's purchased, making it easier, making it simpler, making it even a little fun, and then even evolving into allowing banks and companies to give their customers free life insurance just for being a customer. And that's something that's really important to us. So that's kind of where we started, and kind of how we got here was just the frustrations and the issues we had felt. We were probably naive in thinking we could solve all these. So
I don't think that's naive at all. You are a pave maker, you are a wave maker, and you're carving out a path for the future for us to do better and win better and succeed. And so what has been the feedback that you've been seeing or your team has been seeing about WYSH and what it's doing and to impact the world in fintech?
yeah, the overwhelming response has been just so much positivity. We're really proud to be the most award-winning insurtech in for the past 2 years now. We are also one of the fastest growing fintechs in America today. So we're really excited about the positivity that's reflected in the growth that we've had. But overall, when it comes down to like the actual people that we're helping, we've gotten some amazing feedback of people who had never thought that they needed life insurance before actually signing up and realizing it's actually a lot cheaper and easier to get than they thought, and that they sleep a lot easier knowing that if anything happened to them, their family's taken care of. And so we've been really proud that even people who had been turned down in the past that would never have gotten a life insurance policy for health reasons, we've been able to partner with financial institutions to give them that protection at no cost. So all of that is said, we're really excited, and it's been a lot of fun hearing the positive feedback for the past few years.
I love that. Thank you for that. Thank you for changing the paradigm. Thank you for changing the future as we know it. and to be able to add it at little to no cost. Sir, I gotta ask the stupid question: how is that possible that you can offer a secure, safe way for me to protect my privacy and my information?
Yeah, so we have, a product called, uh, and it's our Wish life benefit product. And what that is it allows banks, credit cards, brokerage accounts, any financial institution can offer free life insurance to their customer. And we don't even ask health questions. All you need to do is just, be a customer of a financial institution that's partnered with Wish, and you automatically get, a free small life insurance policy that's paid for by the financial institution. So, anyone who's been turned down in the past because they've had health issues is able to access, free life insurance because it's picked up by their financial institution. And then for those who want to even cover them, their family even more, Wish offers kind of the ability to like upgrade or kind of, expand your protection to, if you want $2.5 million of life insurance, you can get it. But it's really to give people that free taste that life insurance is something that's easy, simple, and makes you sleep easier.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, when did you make the transition? That's such a unique pivot from life insurance to fintech and artificial intelligence. That's such a unique pivot. Did you do that because of COVID or something else? That was just a business strategy decision.
Yeah, we actually thought those three things aren't mutually exclusive and actually work really well together. We think, traditionally, something like life insurance is so boring and something your grandparents have. And, people even just saying the word life insurance, people start to get tired. And so we really felt that, hey, I think if we integrate some new technology, some interesting ways of people being able to see the coverage they need in their lives, being able to get it quickly and easily, and getting it with as much information as an insurer as possible to make the right decision in terms of how much insurance we can provide people and at the lowest possible cost. So that's really where we see AI playing a big role in the future, is helping us in interviews with people to make sure that we really do understand their health history, that we do understand what their desires are of what happens if they were to pass away. We are able to implement that very quickly. And we think AI is really going to be helpful with that. But technology can turn any industry that's been boring and stodgy and stuck in the past, can actually make something kind of fun.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I need your help to debunk this myth because I've been hearing the naysayers and the negative reviews about, and not about Wish, but just in general, right? That people were saying, well, I spend more money because it's on a card. And now with the introduction of artificial intelligence and softwares, some people are scared in the sense of my money is becoming invisible. Do you feel we are losing a grip on on our financial reality because the introduction and the integration of artificial intelligence and things like blockchain and fintech and Bitcoin, all these things? Do you see any negatives in that realm? Do you think, have you heard anything or felt anything like that?
We've been fortunate that at Wish, all of our, financial transactions are very transparent, are very traditional in terms of utilizing credit card and bank to issue transactions. We haven't gotten into, accepting an NFT as a form of payment, which I'm glad that we didn't. So I think it's really about just kind of, balancing the tried and true traditional payment methods that people are comfortable with and that people know are safe, and new technology that hasn't quite proven itself. Like when we say cryptocurrency, they definitely get the crypto part right, but I'm not sure they've really nailed the currency part right of having it really be a useful tool to exchange for goods and services. So we've really kind of had to focus on doing a lot of research and development on these new types of transactions like crypto, and always keeping consistent, stable, and transparent transactions along the way that people are comfortable with. So yeah, so that's kind of been our approach, is definitely not rolling out something that we don't feel is safe and transparent to our customers. But there are some exciting things out there that we think in the future may be a way that we transact.
Absolutely. That's absolutely good. Great, great point. This is needed. This is the stuff I'm talking about. Where do you see the projection going? Do you feel what is the ideal future of where you think we should be heading with fintech and fintech technology and integrating into our financial businesses? Do you see a world in your ideal world? How do we utilize our money? Should we trust machines to manage our wealth when we barely trust humans in this time of robo advisors and stash and acorns and algorithms? Is AI really going to manage my money better than a human can?
Yeah, I think that that's a really great question, but I would say the challenge that I would give is that people haven't done too well with managing money themselves. I went through the financial crisis of 2007. My father, was very affected by the dot-com bubble of 2000. So I feel like in my personal life, I've seen markets crash because of greed, because of lack of transparency. So I don't hold human managing of my money at on a pedestal all that much. I know that there are bankers and there are financial institutions that have not done right by me. So, to their fault, the door for AI is open. It is not something I shut down saying, can a machine manage my money? I don't immediately dismiss that and say, absolutely not, because I've had people take advantage of my money in human to human engagements. So I believe that, AI can be just as safe, just as transparent, if not more transparent and safe than human to human management of your finances. That's my personal take.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's staying in the same breath, right? I want to sit here one more minute and talk about this. Who should be held accountable when an AI makes a bad investment decision or financial decision on behalf of a network or a system? Who do I hold accountable? Do I blame the software? Do I blame AI
Mhm.
or the overall company that made the bad investment on with the use of AI? Who's to blame there?
I believe that, AI is no different than any other, at least at this point. We haven't gotten to full, general AI. But at today's world, AI acts as software implementation and IT tech. So I really do hold the businesses that are using these platforms to conduct business are ultimately responsible for any mistakes or issues that happen on their platform. Just like if a credit card payment was processed incorrectly, I would hold that company responsible for making that transaction correct. So if they are using, let's say, OpenAI to manage a robo advisor, and that robo advisor hallucinates the existence of a company that in fact does not exist, and has said your portfolio is 30% in there when in fact it was not. I believe that that advisor who utilized that AI is ultimately has to be responsible.
Absolutely, absolutely. There you have it, y'all. Debunking the myth, right
There it
there.
is.
I love this. I love this. Is the future of banking just a prettier app with some old fees, the same old fees? Describe the difference of cost savings to those that are concerned about money management, right? I could go to a financial advisor and pay their fees versus using a robo advisor. Can you distinguish the difference in cost wise for me and why people should consider it or reconsider or reevaluate their beliefs?
Sure, this is a big conversation, especially on personal finance on Reddit. You'll see people asking questions every day. Should I put my money with a advisor, or should I do it myself on a platform? And definitely on Reddit, the predominant advice is you can do it yourself. It is not that complicated. You could make it as complex as you want, but if you want things to be very simple and easy, you could do it yourself on platforms that exist today for a relatively low fee. Some charge a flat fee of, let's say, $10 a month to utilize their platforms for trading, for options, for futures, things like that, which is practically free compared to a traditional advisor who will take 1 to 2% depending on how much you're investing with them. So if you have $100,000, you're looking at $1,000 a year that is just going out of your pocket to an advisor. You're really hoping that that advisor is bringing some value that is making you at least $1,000 more than you would on your own, is the bar that people are holding their advisors to. And very few advisors meet that bar. So again, it's really the system itself has not really gotten a lot of trust and faith from people that everyone is willing to go to an advisor. Most people look at that $1 million threshold as where an advisor makes sense for them, is once you have $1 million and you start doing more complex transactions, and really where you're looking to manage larger estates, lots of moving pieces, lots of assets. That's where advisors are usually advised. Oh, that's a lot of similar words in that sentence. But I would say, but for the average person who has $20,000 and they want to invest and they think, do I go to a traditional financial advisor? No.
Mm. You wouldn't recommend. Do not recommend at all.
I mean, it's not even would like I recommend it. Most financial advisors don't even want you at $20,000. They say no thanks. Wait until you have a couple $100,000. Wait till you have $1 million, then call me, because a percentage of $20,000 to a financial advisor isn't enough for them to really see the value in having to field your phone calls every day saying, I'm scared about my Tesla stock. They say you need to have invested at least $1 million in Tesla for me to take that phone call that you're scared today. So a lot of advisors won't even really entertain accounts for less than $100,000.
And I've seen that. I've seen that, especially when you go on, like when I went on I won't say the bank, but when you go on a certain bank's app, website, and you say, they'll send you all the flyers, the pop ups, all the screens will pop up and say, hey, schedule your financial advisors today. And then you go click through the links. And the biggest question on there, how much do you have to invest? 0 to 50,000, 50,000 to 100,000, a million. So, and based off of your response, dictates whether you get a response or not. And I thought that was the most interesting thing, as to, and that's heartbreaking. And so fintech and what you're doing and what other companies are doing is they're bridging that gap and allowing people who don't have $50,000 to invest right now, but with other things like compound interest and diversification, I could get there. A person can get there with, they still need financial literacy. They still need access to what the wealthy used to have, at in their pocket, right? Because
Mhm.
a wealthy person can easily call up that financial advisor and, oh, my fee is $2,000, and a wealthy person will pay that. But the average person, I can't pay $1,000 for a 10-minute phone call with you. We're gonna talk all day. You didn't even buy me dinner. You ain't give me no cigarette. Like we got that. So I
100%.
I really appreciate what you and Wish are doing and changing the gap. I want to just ask really bluntly, are there any cons to advancements in fintech? Who gets left behind when fintech moves so fast and is growing? Technology is changing. It seems like every day now. We're advancing, artificial intelligence is growing, and the financial institution is accommodating, all these businesses are accommodating and growing with it, right? But who is it, does anyone get left behind? I'm speaking to the person who, the truck driver who's scared of Tesla and cyber trucks, right? They're terrified that they're going to lose work, they're going to lose jobs, all those things. Does anyone get left behind in fintech?
I hate to say, but yes, in any advancement in any sort of capitalist society, as new technology unfolds, as opportunity for wealth are uncovered, opportunity to leave people behind is also kind of a natural, reaction to the advancement of wealth. So I do believe when we're talking about fintech, there are two words brought together in fintech: finance and technology. If you do not have access to finances and you do not have access to technology, you are left behind. That is how it will be. At a certain point, your phone's operating system will determine how wealthy you can be. Your internet connection will determine how wealthy you can be. That is what the tech part of fintech does. And that will, sadly, be a determining factor in who gets left behind. Will be just as connected to the tech part as people saying, I don't even have the $10,000 to get started investing. That will be just as important as saying, I don't have a Wi Fi connection. Those two things are going to go hand in hand. So if you don't have the tech and you don't have the fin, you are going to be left behind.
Automatically, and that's not because of technology. That's just the individual.
Yeah, like there will not be a human to call on the phone. There will not be a physical location to walk into. If you do not have the technology that service is on, so whether that's on, a, cell phone, a mobile device, smartphone, tablet, desktop, if you're unable to access that with, a good stable connection to make transactions, you are left behind.
Yeah, absolutely, automatically. If if your artificial intelligence advisor, yours, had a personality, who would it be? Gordon Gecko or Mr. Bean? Who would your financial advisor AI uh, bot would be?
And do I only get to choose between those two? Because that's a pretty broad choice.
No, who would
Uh,
it be? It could be Elon. Would it be an Elon advisor, financial? Well, he's not in the fintech space, but um, who's in the fintech space? Dave Ramsey. Would it be a Dave Ramsey artificial intelligence bot? Uh,
yes, I think it would be Dave Ramsey very early in his career, a very young Dave Ramsey, bright eyed, not bitter yet, hasn't just seen it all. Everything is new and exciting to him. I would say that's what my AI assistant in the fintech space feels like sometimes. It's a very upbeat Dave Ramsey.
he still has his hair. Still,
Exactly. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Still has great eyesight, great hair.
I love it. I love it. Sorry for that. I had to enjoy this. You have did something truly incredible. You have transitioned. Your background is diverse and just unique. You started your career in the Late Show with David Letterman and then Comedy Central. How did you go from comedy to fintech? Like that's so unique.
Yeah, you'd think that's a very natural path that people take, that they just love to laugh. So I just had to work at a bank. Um, so I really loved writing my whole life. I loved crafting stories, and being part of kind of the arts and entertainment industry was always something all of us are drawn to when we're young. And then of course, once you are in the field of arts and entertainment, it's very difficult. It's a lot of cutthroat. It's very challenging, and there was an opportunity to move into marketing right when YouTube was starting. And a lot of companies were looking for people who wrote and wanted to write in the entertainment space, but were young. And, so this is probably between 2004 and 2007. My God, that's how long ago it was. So all of us were children when YouTube and streaming platforms really started, and brands and companies wanted to make YouTube videos and make things that were fun. And we all were able to get jobs at these marketing companies and ad agencies. And it was a steady paycheck to sit around and have fun, just like I was at Comedy Central, but without the fear that the show could get canceled. It was amazing. And so I just really embraced that sort of life of storytelling. through brands and on digital platforms. And I just stuck with it and worked my way up from a writer to creative director and now to a chief marketing officer. Woo!
I need your help to help the business out there that is trying to connect to the younger generation. Businesses struggle with this all the time. I hear the bad news, I see the reports, and they're like, how do we break into the young people? Can you share where do most financial institutions go wrong when trying to connect with the younger or underserved customers? And can you give them some tips on how to break that barrier and connect with the younger population or underserved community? Because there's still plenty of people that don't have checking accounts, savings accounts, banking. They're unbanked. They don't have those technology. Any tips or strategies there for businesses trying to break that mold?
Yeah, I think, many financial institutions just are really talking to themselves so much. They believe their products and services are amazing, and they're not really looking at themselves through the lens of what a young person sees in today's world. Like I said, so many young people grew up, starting their, real formative years during the financial crisis of 2007, 2008, 2009. This is right when those people were 10. They're now turning 40 now. So as I'm not sure if that math works out, but just go with me. Let's just assume that that math was right. But
You're good.
so you have a lot of skepticism. You have a lot of financial institutions with leadership much older than these people who still see that positivity and the rose-colored glasses that financial institutions had in the 90s, that I think they don't quite see the skepticism that young people have with financial institutions today, and are really looking to be talked to a little bit more honestly, a little bit more different. And I think companies would do better to really look at how young people see the world today. Like I said, the skepticism they have, the challenges that they have faced in the past with technology and these institutions, very hard to overcome. You got to be open and you got to be honest. You can't just use videos of kids skateboarding and saying we're cool. Come and bank with us.
That's true. That's true. You can't just sit there and have the cool kid vaping. It's like the smoking commercials, right? It's sitting there with the cool kid. He's all positive and he's smoking a pack of camels and he's looking all hip and popular and he has all the girls. That's not it. And now it's a rap video. And now he's hugging his Tesla robot on the side, chilling in the club. You
Yeah.
know, so powerful, powerful, powerful. Mr. Edwin, breaking the mold, pulling back the tea, spilling the tea here on the Gentleman Style Podcast Show and helping us get to a better space with the funnies. This man is hilarious. What's the funniest fintech pitch you've ever heard?
Wow. You know what? I hate to bring it to Wish, but I have to. Because when we started um this with a really simple idea that Wish was about, you could make a wish for what you want to happen if something happens to you. It was that simple. That was the pitch, right? And there's nothing inherently funny about that. But when we opened that up to people and said, "What's your wish?" The things people would send to us that they want to have happen if they die were crazy. And all of this was great, but one of the very first things someone wanted was their ashes scattered into a volcano. And we had to research at Wish, is that even legal? Like
Mm.
if it's like, can you just throw things in volcanoes? Is that considered trash? Are you not allowed to do that? We had people who wanted, if they die, their family all gets was it martial arts training so that their death could be avenged. So they wanted their whole family to turn into John Wick and avenge their death. That was their wish. And they wanted to put $100,000 of martial arts training to the side if they die so that their parents and their siblings could all fight for their death. So and we had things where people wanted to send their dogs and cats to a spa for $20,000. It was really funny. So all of us would sit around all day and just read these requests that were coming in of what people wanted to happen. And every day we heard something we did not expect to hear that day.
so needless to say, the branding changed, the elevator pitch changed. It had to change. Or
Oh,
are you?
no, we actually never changed. You could still do that today with Wish. You could still choose how you want your life insurance spent, which makes us unique. Most times, families will just get a check for, let's say, $50,000 for a life insurance policy. With Wish, your family will hear your wishes that you had. And people still to this day can make really interesting wishes, whether it's they want a specific comedian to do their eulogy at their funeral. People make that wish. People want a band to play at their memorial service that is famous, and we try to help that family figure out how to do that.
Incredible. That's the power of Wish. That's incredible. I can't imagine. I guess that's unique, right? And that's that, and only the family, I guess, can understand that, right? Like someone's last wishes, and you guys say, "Here's a check, and here's a note with your loved one's last wish that they wanted to see come true, and here's some steps and actionable steps. Here's some things we've done or could do, and actually see their loved ones' kind of final message, saying, "This is my expression of love to you. I want you guys to take." Some martial arts classes, and it's Keanu Reeves himself will be conducting the session, and like that
Yep,
is
you
that
can
is
do
so
it
yeah. With enough money, you probably could. That's
for sure.
incredible, absolutely incredible. I want to talk to CEOs out there. I feel with the growth and expansion that one day artificial intelligence could eventually replace CEOs in financial institutions. How real is that? Should we be concerned? Should I be concerned? I could see that as a possibility. Not only workers, but like C-suite level executives. Yourself, could you be replaced by a financial AI intelligence in the fintech space?
Yes. Full stop. Yes.
That's
I
honest.
think I think that there are so many positions that people are assessing whether artificial intelligence can at least understand the job description that is needed from them. Yes, that can happen now. And I think CEOs are doing themselves a disservice by thinking that artificial intelligence is only going to come for your low-level employees. That's actually the least ROI you're going to get at a company by instituting AI. No one wants to talk about it is actually at the mid-tier and senior tier management that AI can do just as good of a job for $0 versus the crazy salaries that senior management is getting, the stock options that do not need to be paid to an AI. I actually think CEOs are very much at risk. And the more they talk about how easy it will be for AI to replace their low level workers, they're actually also helping build the case for themselves to be replaced.
That's true. So CEOs, and maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. Maybe that's a good thing, right? A CEO can only maybe that's a good thing as I stand back and I think about it. Like I maybe one day I can sit back and have my AI who I've trained and it models me and it models my thought process and it models my habits and proclivities, and now it's it can work with me and work with my team and still provide them a service while I'm actually off recuperating or recovering or going to an important meeting and closing a deal. It's almost like the famous saying people always say about something. I wish I could clone myself, right? I wish I could recreate myself in that George Jetson kind of world. Like
Yep.
while I'm closing $1 million deal, my AI is still serving my company and helping my C-suite executives and everybody, so things don't stop when I'm gone. or in perpetuity. Legacy building. I think of legacy in that way, right? I'm gone physically, but my AI who has been with me, I've been training for 20 plus years. That's 20 plus years of knowledge that is irreplaceable to the growth of a company. And it can still serve my kids, my wife, my daughter as we continue to grow, and they can always consult that AI. So that's something hadn't even considered. Like, that could be a good thing too, to replace yourself.
And I think it opens up a whole world of possibilities of, let's use your example, Marcus, that you take 20 years of working and brand knowledge of, let's say you work at Amazon as an executive, you're there 20 years, you decide to retire, but you're going to allow the company to maintain your AI, which is you, and your 20 years of experience are going to continue to work at Amazon. Do you receive compensation every day for that AI's work? Is it almost as though it's there's a royalty paid to you for the work that you've done and the AI that you've built? So all of a sudden, we now have a method to retire in 100 years that we didn't have before, which is I let my AI work for me when I retire, and I get, $11 an hour in passive income because the AI I trained for 20 years is continuing to work at Amazon. I think it opens up a whole amazing future of possibilities like that I think people aren't quite as excited about when they think of AI. I think still people are very threatened and very see, that them just being replaced, as opposed to imagine you being cloned is a much more exciting place to imagine for me.
Yeah, it is. It's sci-fi has done its work. Sci-fi has messed me up my entire childhood. It's like, oh my gosh, is that real? Is aliens, Predator? Are we there yet? We're which seems like sometimes we knock pretty close on that door, but
Mhm.
incredible. I love the thought process of this, and thank you for walking through that with me and walking through us with the audience and walking through us with that together. I like to point out another thing that businesses struggle with, which is storytelling. What role does humor or storytelling play in making complex financial topics more accessible? I think that can serve a lot of those businesses, again, that are still trying to break into that younger generation. People like to laugh, especially in these times. People need humor. People need laughter. People need to relax. Um, can you help us with understanding the significance of humor in storytelling?
Yeah, I think that there's, something incredible about uh, our ability to laugh even during hard times, during challenging times, during stressful times. We always find a relief in humor. And I believe that even during our hardest moments, whether that's, managing through grief, all the way up to managing through financial challenges, humor can play a role in that as a way to cope. And so I believe there's very few opportunities in our lives where humor is never welcome. But so I do think it would be very rare for financial institutions and brands to not see an avenue for humor, for them to tell a story for their brand and what their customers are going through. I think some of the most talked about campaigns right now are the ones that are funny and the ones that are generating laughter. So whether that is and it is usually connected to taking advantage of a moment in time. So whether it is the Coldplay kiss cam couple that was immediately turned into a viral ad by their company, hosted by Gwyneth Paltrow the next week, is an incredible use of humor and joy to take advantage of something that's pretty serious.
Right.
Not only the situation was serious, but the company itself is a serious company. It's not, a company that is a comedy production company. It is a business in technology. So seeing, those sort of campaigns where they take advantage of a moment in time to allow people to laugh and connect that story to their company is still a great way to get your name out there and to build loyalty and awareness.
Absolutely. Wow. I had no idea that was actually pushed and promoted through the company. But that is a great, great, great point. That is huge. As the president, as the president of the National Alliance for Financial Literacy and Inclusion, what's on your hot plate? What do you can you share? What is top of mind on your desk? Things that you are working on for the next for the future, for the next foreseeable several years. What are some big ticket items that is on your agenda?
Yeah, we really are excited about artificial intelligence like everyone else is, but we're really seeing it as a way to help people better understand their finances, which I think can be really complex. But as you point out, Marcus, being able to have an assistant next to you who you could ask to look at a loan for your car and tell you, is this sketchy? Is there any part of this contract I should be worried about? I really do think that artificial intelligence has a really big role to play in helping people avoid being taken advantage of, and definitely, being. Part of a scam, being able to have a senior citizen be able to ask their personal AI if this is a scam will allow them to feel confident and comfortable that the person on the phone is not who they say they are, because an AI can judge that. It can know that the number they're calling from is from an unlisted account, that their IP address is sent through a very small town in India, which is notorious for these types of scams. Therefore, Ethel, we're going to, flag this for you. And we're actually going to start blocking those calls coming into your phone, and any financial transactions you plan on doing with them, we're going to flag for you as scams. So things like that, I think, is really how technology in the future is going to help people become smarter and more effective at managing their money, especially as scams get more complex, as the speed in which money moves gets faster and faster. Having this AI assistant who's almost a bodyguard for you for your financial life and is actually asking everyone around, slow down and tell me again. So, what is your rate for this high yield savings account? 2%. That's not great. You should be getting up to 4.5. Having an AI send you that very simple message will allow you to say, I'm not signing that contract then. And I think a lot of predatory businesses are in for a rude awakening when AI can flag those things for the average person.
They're in trouble. They're absolutely in trouble. Absolutely, absolutely. If you could redesign the financial system from scratch, what would you keep? What things would you keep?
Hmm. If I could redesign the financial system from scratch, I think there the one thing I would keep that we've always kind of, felt that we've lost over the past 50 years or so is that human connection. Financial transactions uh, started. They were some of the earliest things we've ever done, Marcus. Like, there are clay tablets in, parts of the world that are thousands of years old that are really a bank statement, that are
Mm.
managing trade between two people, a farmer and a business. That's some of our oldest, most human things that we've ever done is transact financially, and it's always been with someone you knew, someone you could trust, someone who understood what you were going through and what you needed. So whether it was somebody who back in the 1950s understood who your family was, what your challenges were, that you had two kids who were excited to go to college that you were saving for, that there was someone at your local bank who knew your name and knew who you were. I want to keep all of that and not lose that human element of a financial transaction, because I believe that's what makes that's an essential part of being human, is doing that. But I think, we've added a lot of technology to strip away some of the humanity in our transactions now, that things are either automated, they just assess a credit score, and that's it, to determine your value as a person. And I can't wait to leave all that behind and get back to a more human connection.
Absolutely. I love it. Love it, love it, love it. What's your thoughts on crypto? Is it the actual revolution or is it a distraction from other big projects that we should be focused on? Other things that we should be paying attention to. Is crypto I think crypto is here to stay, but I think we've hyped it up to this glorious higher than usual extent. Um it, what are your thoughts on crypto?
Yeah, I'm not a crypto expert and don't spend a lot of time in that space. But as someone in the finance industry looking in from the outside, like I said, you definitely see, the two words of cryptocurrency together. And like I said, they get the crypto right, which is, the digital identity of a ledger free uh, currency system is interesting. There's something interesting there. Have we figured out a way to actually transact goods and services with it? Absolutely not. It is way too unstable, way too volatile for the everyday person to use a Bitcoin to buy a house, or to use Ethereum to finance your Uber car tonight. Things like that. It's just way too volatile for it to be really established as a currency. We're making some headway with things like stablecoin and looking to bring some stability to crypto so that it does have a consistent value that people can trust and feel safe with. Because I believe, like I said, at the core of a transaction has got to be stability and safety. Even as like a libertarian, you have to be very passionate about how safe a transaction can be between two people. And if that transaction is not safe, you don't have a healthy society as a whole. So I believe that crypto right now is not a safe transaction between two people. So right now, I would definitely say no one should be using crypto as a tool to transact. If you believe that you appreciate the promise that crypto has in the future and you want to invest now in its future promise, go ahead, have fun, enjoy it. And others like you can trade that passion in the cost that you're giving to Bitcoin. But Bitcoin at this point, from a currency, does not have value. It only has value among the people who are passionate about its future.
I agree with you. I really agree with you on so many levels because that's I I don't have very much. I have little to no Bitcoin because again it's the volatility of it. That's one, and then two, the tangibility of it, right? The utility of it is what you're speaking to. The utility and the use. I cannot today use crypto to buy a house. I can't use crypto to finance this car note. And would you take that? Would the banking industry accept that currency? I got $1 million in Bitcoin, but I got $20 in my checking account. What are you going to go off of, right? When you check my credit history, when you check my credit score. Well, we gave him the car. We financed this Range Rover because he has all this money in cryptocurrency. You still have to convert that into a usable, acceptable currency, which you still have to convert the crypto into US dollars or whatever currency or state or country you live in. You have to convert it back into something that is accepted because
Yeah.
cryptocurrency is still not widely accepted in most places. So
And I also think, Marcus, just to kind of throw on
yeah,
another yeah, aspect of it, I think a lot of people also weren't quite aware that when you kind of remove the banking industry from transactions, the crypto industry kind of allows you to be a bank. If you have your own hot wallet that just, it's you have the password, you have access to this account, that's it. There's no bank in between. But that's what we've been seeing over the past 5 years has been a rash of kidnappings, a rash of, like robberies towards individuals because you are the bank. All they have to do to break into a bank and steal the money from a bank is to get you in a trunk of a car and get you to yell out the password to your USB drive. That is robbing a bank. And a lot of people now are seeing and hearing in the news a lot of these crypto bros are just walking around not knowing the targets on them as though they're a bank that is just walking through Vegas at a conference. I think in a few years from now, you're going to start seeing people being much more cautious about, being that exposed, that all someone needs to do is grab me and get me to yell out my password, and they've got $2 million. And there's nothing I could do, no one I could sue, no bank to ensure that to back me up.
No
That money is
FDIC.
gone. That money is gone. They just robbed $2 million out of your account, and there's nothing you can do about it. I think at a certain point, people are going to say, I don't want to do that.
I need to stop yelling to the mountaintops that I invest in Bitcoin. You're right. You're
Yep.
right. The Bitcoin aficionados, they're screaming at the highest points. I invest in Bitcoin. I believe in Bitcoin. I don't necessarily want to advertise that. So I work in the ATM business, right? And people are like, Marcus, why don't you advertise and promote? Because ATMs are cash. Why would I tell people that I'm involved in a business that is strictly cash? I am asking to be robbed, right?
Mhm.
So I don't advertise like that. I don't put my face on it. I don't put stickers on it. Like, no, I don't advertise that I am a crypto investor. And you're right. So shout out to that. That's a mic drop moment. But what can you expect from a famous a man like yourself? Incredible. I want to ask you this funny question: would you rather have perfect credit or perfect privacy?
Oh, really interesting question. Perfect credit.
Really?
Yep.
Can expound? Can you give me some sauce on that? Help me get to
I
where
have
you are.
I have a hot take here, Marcus, and that is that I believe the privacy battle has been lost.
Mm,
I believe uh, there is a core group of people who are saying we should care about privacy, but I believe the everyday person is asking why. What exactly is the difference between me, who isn't invested in privacy, and someone who is? How is their life different than mine? Maybe they didn't get served up the individual ad that I got served up to today on Facebook. Are you telling me that's been the argument for the past 15 years of data privacy, is that you may get served a Hyundai ad and you may not have wanted? Like, no one's been able to clearly articulate, because how safe I am with my data privacy has nothing to do with the odds of my identity being stolen or a data breach happening to the companies I do business with. So I think people are starting to get data privacy fatigue and being told that it's important, when really all we're doing is hitting the accept all cookies when a website pops up. Like, no one's lives are that different anymore thanks to a data privacy action that's been taken. I think it's a argument that's been lost, that privacy and the issues around data privacy are not as serious as they tend to be. I always equate it to the national debt, that people have been screaming about the national debt since the 1950s. We're all still here.
mm.
We still borrow money as a country. So why is and everyone still says the debt, the debt, the debt, and everyone's like, well, if it was that bad, why would we still have it? I believe privacy is the same thing. People are going to be screaming up about data privacy, but we're all going to still be here doing the exact same thing in 50 years.
I you're so spot on. I got two letters yesterday for another data breach of some company that I did business with, some credit card processing company, some company, and they're like, "Hey, we got hacked. The settlement is now settled, and you can opt out of, do you want, we'll pay for credit monitoring for a year,
Mhm.
we'll give you a lump sum, or if you have proof that you've been hacked and violated, send us proof, and you may be entitled to more compensation in this way as a third option. I get those letters religiously now, with a check attached to them saying, "Oops, we slipped up again." Like, and
Mhm.
it's like, wow, I haven't heard of that company. I don't remember that name, or it's a third party of a third party got hacked, right? So I may have been shopping at Target, but the credit card processor got hacked that Target uses in its store. And so sometimes it's from an agency I haven't even heard of. Like, how could my credit information or my personal information? Oh well, back in 19 skippity 2, you did this at this store on a sunny day. Like, what? Thank
Yep.
you for the money. I'll take the credit. I have so many credit card monitoring. I could not fart with my credit score not changing. Like, it is insane. Like, I have opted into so many credit free programs because someone gets hacked. I can't make a move without getting an alert now. Like, it
Yeah.
is insane. Like, did you withdraw $10 for gas? We just wanted to send you this alert because Credit Karma just moved the needle on your stuff. Like, what? It is insane. So, perfect credit is what you're saying. What would you do with perfect credit?
I
Rule the world?
Yeah. Well, I believe that, obviously, I think there are more tangible advantages to perfect credit than there are to perfect privacy. I believe someone with perfect privacy has no better chance of having, a hack happen to them versus someone with perfect credit is going to get a very good rate on their mortgage today when interest rates are high. That could be between, paying $1,000 a month or 1,800 a month, has to just do with your credit score. I'll take the credit score.
That's true. Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. Makes absolute sense. Sir, I'm going to get you out of here on this question. This is my final question. It's about financial freedom. What's your personal definition of financial freedom? For that young boy, that young girl watching you right now, what does personal financial freedom mean to you?
Yeah, I think personal financial freedom, obviously, to me, has a lot to do with being able to sleep at night, and it's has just as much to do with mental health as financial health. I believe that our finances can weigh us down, can make us anxious, can make us depressed, can make us fear the future. And I believe financial freedom. I don't believe that means being rich. I believe financial freedom means being free from those sort of you know negative mental health issues that come with your financial life. So when I think about, does someone have a sense of financial freedom? I don't think it's about the amount they have in the bank. It's, are they able to walk around today and get a Starbucks and not have to feel like they just had to really have a tough talk with themselves for a minute about the future when they did that, or what they're going to have to sacrifice, how they're going to explain that purchase to their kids, and what they just now had to do. That to me is financial freedom, is free from anxiety, free from depression, free from fear. And That's how I look at financial freedom. It's more about that than it is about the dollars.
Absolutely. Incredible. Absolutely. Absolutely. How can my audience connect with you? How can people learn more and get on board with what you're doing? You're changing lives every single day.
Yeah. So, like I said, if you're interested in financial protection of life insurance, or seeing if your financial institution is partners with WYSH, you can go to wish.com. That's WYSH.com. And then if you're interested in, being part of helping people feel more confident in their financial futures through technology, that's the organization I run, NAFLI, NAFLI.org. And that is where you could learn all about some new and exciting tools that exist today to help you feel more financially confident.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Incredible. All right, y'all. we are out of time. We got to let this incredible man go. He has many more lives to change, many more innovations to make. As you see, he has a lot on his plate, and he's helping move the needle forward every day, one step at a time. Sir, I want to say this to you publicly. Thank you for being here. Thank you for what you do. You are necessary. Keep going. Don't ever quit.
Thank you, Marcus. This was great.
Absolutely. And thank you all for tuning into the Gentleman Style Podcast Show. I hope this message was helpful. I hope this was inspiring. And I hope you got a chuckle or two out of it. I certainly enjoy this man, Mr. Edwin, and what he's doing to change the world and make the world a better place. But we got to let him go. Like we end every show. Take care of your friends. Take care of your family. And always, always take care of business. This is Marcus, your favorite gentleman, and the incredible Mr. Edwin of WYSH. Signing off. Love you guys. Bye.